Samantha Odigun woke to the soft chime of her sunrise alarm and the familiar scent of rain drifting through the half-open window. Every morning she counted her blessings: a thriving medical practice, a handsome husband who still kissed her forehead before his morning run, and the quiet promise that, whatever chaos the hospital threw at her, she would return to a home filled with laughter. "Have I ever told you," Marcus murmured as he slipped back into bed, sweaty from his jog, "that I married the smartest woman in Lagos?" Samantha rolled her eyes playfully. "Only every time you want an extra spoon of moi." He laughed, scooping her into his arms. For a heartbeat the world felt cinematic, two ambitious professionals stealing seconds before the day swallowed them. Outside, the peal of a distant kiki horn reminded them the city was already sprinting. Samantha pressed her palm to Marcus's chest, feeling the steady drum of his heart, and thought, this is enough. At breakfast they clinked coffee mugs over the island of their area Kauai apartment while the radio hummed soft Afro-jazz. Marcus scrolled his phone, reading business headlines aloud: oil prices, a new fintech merger, the governor's latest promise to fix Eco Bridge, while Samantha planned a pediatric oncology fundraiser. In the reflective glass of the oven she saw their silhouettes lean together, the picture of unity. When Marcus zipped his laptop bag he found her waiting in the doorway with the navy tie that matched his suit. She looped it around his neck, their breaths mingled. "Slay the boardroom," she whispered. He kissed her knuckles. "Save your patience." The elevator swallowed him with its sterile light. Samantha waved until the doors closed, unaware that cracks spidered beneath the gloss of their life. Mid-morning, Samantha made her hospital rounds. Nurses greeted her with relief, her presence settled chaotic wards. In the pediatric wing she knelt beside little Tolu, who clutched a plush giraffe. "Dr. Sam," he whispered, "will the medicine make me brave?" Samantha ruffled his curls. "You're already the bravest warrior I know." Outside the room, Dr. Anil, the new resident, caught up. "Your husband bragged about you in the paper interview," he said, grinning. Samantha's cheeks warmed. Marcus had praised her in print. Pride swelled, followed by a flicker of doubt. Had he mentioned her to fill a perfect couple narrative or because he truly felt it? That evening they shared leftovers on the couch, watching a documentary about coral bleaching. Marcus rested his head on her lap, fingers tracing lazy circles on her calf. Samantha twirled a lock of his hair absently, wondering how something so tender could mask an earthquake rumbling beneath. That weekend they hosted their monthly movie night. Mid-film, Marcus slipped into the hallway to answer a call. Samantha followed. Through the door she heard him murmur, "Tuesday, same room." "I can't wait." Her heartbeat slammed against her ribs. She returned to the living room, laughed at jokes she didn't hear, and later stood with Marcus on the balcony. "You okay, Sammy?" he asked. "Just thinking about how quickly things change," she replied, staring at a city block that suddenly lost power. She wondered which switch had already been flipped in her marriage. The first fissure was almost invisible. Marcus's promotion to regional director should have been a triumph. They celebrated with champagne at Knock by Alara. But the next week he started coming home late, whole hours lost to client dinners. One night Samantha called from their dim kitchen, "Do these clients know you have a wife who dominates at Scrabble?" Silence answered. At work she distracted herself with Patience Aya, the sickle cell artist, chief oak, loud and terrified of needles. Even in the operating theater her phone buzzed with absence. Friday she cooked egusi soup, Marcus's comfort dish. The clock blinked 10:13 p.m. before he arrived smelling of a cologne she didn't recognize. "You missed our neighbor's naming ceremony," she said softly. "Next time," he muttered, glancing at an unknown number flashing on his phone. Later, in bed, Samantha traced patterns on his shoulder. "Is everything okay?" "Just pressure," he sighed, rolling away. She stared at the ceiling fan slicing moonlight and felt her certainty wobble. The shift continued, no more post-it notes in her lunchbox, calls muted when she entered, laughter half-hearted. During what one evening, Marcus missed obvious moves. "You're distracted, love," she teased. "Waiting for Abuja numbers." "Talk to me, maybe a getaway?" "We'll see," he replied, already typing a message with an expression Samantha couldn't decipher. Anticipation? Guilt? When he looked up, the mask of normalcy was back, but she saw the cracks beneath. Tuesday arrived with storm clouds. Samantha drove to the Velvet Fig, parking 2 cars away from Marcus's sedan. Through a telephoto lens, she photographed him greet a rose-gold-dressed woman with an almost indecent kiss. Seconds later, her phone lit up, stuck in meetings. Might sleep at office. A bitter laugh escaped. Rain blurred the windshield, but she kept shooting until the lovers disappeared. Hours later, soaked in storm water and betrayal, she deleted none of the files. Evidence was oxygen now. She breathed it in, alive with painful clarity. Rain hammered Lagos that Monday, turning streets into silver rivers. Samantha, stuck on 3rd Mainland Bridge, dialed Marcus to warn she'd be late. Voicemail. 15 minutes later, still nothing. A billboard glared, "Do you truly know the ones you love?" The words crawled under her skin. Home, Marcus's car spot was empty. Near midnight came his text, "Busy at work. Talk later." No heart emoji. The brevity sliced deeper than silence. Samantha curled on the sofa. A nurse had once teased that surgeons made the worst spouses, married to the scalpel. Tonight the words echoed like prophecy. She opened her laptop, intending to read journals, but her browser typed for her, signs of cheating, how to confront a lying spouse. She shut the lid, ashamed of her paranoia. At 2 a.m. Marcus crept in, humming a romantic Afro R&B she'd never heard him play. Steaming water hissed in the shower. When he emerged, towel around his waist, she pretended to stir. "You're back," she whispered. "Yeah." His skin smelled of a new bergamot oud scent. She lay rigid, thoughts racing. Next morning at the hospital, Dr. Chioma pulled her aside. "You look drained. Everything okay at home?" "Just a tough rotation." "Remember," Chioma said, squeezing her hand, "you can remove a tumor, but you can't treat hurt you ignore." That night Samantha found Marcus asleep, phone gripped like a life raft. She considered prying it open but recoiled from becoming a spy in her own bed. Instead she opened her journal, a leather-bound gift from Marcus. "Trust is the oxygen of love," he had inscribed. Beneath it she wrote, "What happens when oxygen runs low?" Saturday morning sunlight pooled across the parquet floor as Samantha emptied Marcus's laundry. From his jacket pocket fluttered a pale pink handkerchief embroidered M, smudged with ruby lipstick. Her pulse thundered. She photographed the evidence, then slipped it back. Marcus emerged in gym gear. "Babe, meeting timed for basketball." "Take care," she answered sweetly. When he left, she placed her stethoscope beside the photo on the table, a reminder that diagnostics save lives. That afternoon she confided in Neka, an investigative journalist. "Men who cheat forget doctors have scalpel precision," Neka said. "You need proof, not emotions." Dusk found Samantha parked opposite the Velvet Fig. Through the window she saw Marcus laughing with the crimson-lipped woman. Her knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. She took another photo, flashless, clinical. Neon lights across the street flickered open secrets. Samantha almost laughed at the cosmic joke. That night she dreamed of performing surgery without anesthesia. The patient screamed Marcus's name. She woke in sweat, drove to the hospital's 24-hour lab, and reviewed files until dawn. The antiseptic air smelled of secrets, clean, concealed. In the afternoon she visited photographer friend Lekin. "I need a discreet telephoto lens," she said. "Bird watching?" "Something like that." She paid cash. "Whatever predator you're stalking," Lekin warned, "be sure you're safe." Back home she practiced her professional smile in the mirror, the same she used to calm terrified patients, and wondered how many doctors wore masks outside the hospital. She documented more patterns: nude cologne every Tuesday, freshly pressed shirts on Sunday nights, and a gym playlist of sultry love songs. Everything went into a folder named Operation Truth. Sunday brought a facade of normalcy, church, brunch with Marcus's parents, and a family dinner Samantha hosted for her brother's engagement. Candlelight danced across the table while jollof rice steamed. Between bites, Marcus boasted about work. Friday, I grabbed lunch at the Velvet Fig, great spinach pastries. Samantha's fork froze. Her brother asked, "Isn't that place pricey?" Marcus shrugged. Had a quick solo meeting with myself. Maybe we should go together, Samantha said, eyes drilling into him. He looked away. After dessert, her mother-in-law praised her. You keep this home radiant. Samantha smiled, a porcelain doll with hidden fractures. While washing dishes, Marcus's phone buzzed on the counter. Mia, missing you already, can't wait for Tuesday. Samantha's chest constricted. Marcus snatched the phone. Work, he muttered. She turned off the tap. Water dripped, echoing the tension. We should talk, she began. He cut her off with a quick forehead kiss. Later, Sammy. He vanished down the hallway. In the darkened window, Samantha saw her reflection, strong posture, eyes aflame. The woman staring back was done ignoring warning signs. She opened Operation Truth, archiving every photo, timestamp, and lie. Each saved file sharpened her resolve, the scalpel was in her hand. Determined to maintain appearances, Samantha hosted Marcus's colleagues for drinks that evening. They praised his work ethic. Marcus is first in, last out, gushed his assistant, Yemi. Samantha noted the admiration, tinged with secrets. Later Yemi joked, we tease Marcus about his Tuesday lunches at Velvet Fig, he orders the lover's platter for one. Laughter erupted. Samantha's smile iced over. When the apartment emptied, Marcus loosened his tie and collapsed on the sofa. Samantha sat opposite, legs crossed, calm as a surgeon before incision. Do you love me? She asked. He blinked. What kind of question? Answer. He chuckled. Of course. What's gotten into you? Tell me something true, she pressed. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it. Samantha rose, walked to the bedroom, and shut the door. Tears slipped down her cheeks, each naming itself, doubt. Fear. Resolve. Inside Operation Truth she made subfolders, Velvet Fig, unknown numbers, Tuesday patterns. She drafted an email to a private investigator agency, need surveillance, urgent, discreet. She whispered, no more ghosts, and pressed send. Thunder rolled, rattling the window panes. Days stretched like tightrope wire. At odd hours Samantha practiced confrontation speeches in the bathroom mirror, testing tones, sorrow, fury, sardonic humor, until they felt like lines from a film she no longer wanted to star in. She scheduled a therapy appointment under a pseudonym, then cancelled. Healing would come later, first she needed the truth displayed under surgical lights. That Sunday at dawn, as the call to prayer drifted over the lagoon, Samantha typed one final message, Ms. Clara Adebanjo, I will pay whatever fee you require. Surveillance starts Tuesday. Discretion is paramount. The cursor blinked, a silent metronome. She clicked send and exhaled. For the first time in weeks she allowed herself a fragile smile, not of happiness, but of readiness. The scalpel was sharp, the theater prepared. Operation Truth had officially begun. And somewhere beyond the balcony glass, thunder muttered like distant applause for the drama ahead. Samantha's fingertips trembled as she hovered over Marcus's phone. It lay charging on the nightstand, screen pulsing with light from the bathroom. Marcus was still in the shower, steam curling under the door. A single thought pulsed louder than her heartbeat, you need the truth, no matter how ugly. She tapped the phone. Face ID failed, the device asked for Marcus's 6-digit code. On instinct she typed their wedding date, 211015. The home screen slid open. Her eyes darted through icons, mail. Banking. Signal. She opened the encrypted app. Client Mia, I'll bring the lace set you like. Counting minutes. Mia, did you book the Tuesday suite? Same champagne? Marcus, anything for my queen. Can't wait to taste you. Samantha's stomach lurched. Foam hissed behind the bathroom door, her time ticked away. She airdropped the chat to her laptop, then scrolled the photo gallery. There was Mia, cocoa-skinned, honey-lipped, perched on Marcus's lap, hotel sheets a suggestive rumple around them. Suddenly the bathroom water stopped. Samantha dropped the phone, slipped beneath the duvet, laptop closed but recording video. Marcus emerged in a towel, humming. Tuesday's sweet, she noted. Babe, he said, you asleep? She feigned a murmur, pulse racing. He checked his phone, frowned, no unread badge, then slid into bed beside her. His damp arm draped across her waist, and Samantha felt the chilly weight of betrayal seep through the cotton. At the hospital the next morning, she caught herself handing a prescription to the wrong patient. Nurse TT pulled her aside. Doc, are you sure you're okay? She forced a smile. Running on fumes, that's all. In the break room, she opened the screenshots and created folders, chats, photos, bank transfers. She watched one of Mia's voice notes, breathy giggles, promises of forever. Every syllable felt like a scalpel nicking her chest. An alert pinged, Marcus to Mia, can't wait for tonight. Got something special for you. Samantha exhaled shakily. Tonight was Monday, Tuesday was their established tryst. The urgency meant the affair was intensifying. She texted Clara, the investigator. Sam, need full bank trace on Marcus ASAP. Also tail him tonight. Clara, already on him. Sending live updates. By dusk Samantha sat in her parked Jeep under a broken street lamp outside Anakin Stadium, laptop balanced on the steering wheel. Clara's feed popped in, Marcus and Mia entering Zephyr rooftop bar, hands intertwined. A second ping arrived, an automatic notification from their joint savings, 725,000 Nigerian nairas transferred to MI Profile Ltd. Samantha searched the CAC registry, Mia's legal name, Mirabel Inialua Adekoya, on that shell company. Blood roared in Samantha's ears. Marcus wasn't just cheating, he was funding Mia's lifestyle with marital funds. Her phone rang. Clara's crisp voice. Your husband just booked the presidential suite at White Sands Hotel. Payment forwarded to MI Profile. Want me inside? Record everything, Samantha said, and, Clara, keep your distance. We're dealing with liars who think they're in love. She drove home numb, the city's neon glare smeared by rising tears. Inside, she clutched her stethoscope, the one tool that had never lied to her, and whispered, I will diagnose this marriage to the last rotten cell. By Tuesday dawn, Samantha had slept 2 fractured hours. The apartment was silent except for the hush of the lagoon wind. She brewed coffee thick as mud and waited. When Marcus padded into the kitchen, freshly shaved and dressed in an iron-crisp ash suit, Samantha pasted on her softest smile. Early again? She asked. Quarterly reviews, he replied, kissing her cheek. His lips were cold on her skin. Good luck, she said, ears straining for the slightest shake in his voice. None came. He was an actor who knew his script. As the elevator swallowed him, Samantha opened her laptop. Clara's latest footage filled the screen, Mia in a silk robe, feeding Marcus ripe mango slices. He licked her fingers, eyes glazed with want. Samantha hit mute, she needed silence to think. She mapped a timeline on her dining room mirror with sticky notes, meetings, bank transfers, hotel receipts. Red thread crisscrossed like a crime scene board until the glass resembled a web, and Marcus a doomed insect at its center. That night she sat on their balcony, lagoon lights flickering below. Marcus was working late again. She texted him, miss you. Dinner's cold. 3 dots appeared, then vanished. A thundercloud swallowed the moon. Somewhere across town he was undressing the truth. Samantha closed her eyes and confessed her pain to the night air, I love a ghost. From inside, her phone buzzed. Clara again, got the proof, clear as daylight. Want the package delivered? Samantha typed back, yes. Tomorrow. I need to see everything. At 2 a.m. Marcus crept in, reeking of champagne and unfamiliar musk. Samantha pretended to sleep but murmured, You showered at the office? He froze, then forced a laugh. Jim. She rolled over so he would not hear her heart breaking again. Clara Adebanjo walked into Samantha's consulting room just after lunch, tall, dreadlocks sweeping her shoulders, eyes cool as granite. A manila envelope thicker than a medical textbook thudded onto the desk. Everything, Clara said. Photos, audio, even Mia's pregnancy tracking app logs. Pregnancy? Samantha's spine straightened. Her period 6 weeks late. She Googled how soon can a blood test confirm last night. Samantha swallowed, anger sparking through her veins. Marcus doesn't know. Not yet. Clara hesitated. Sam, you need a lawyer, not just evidence. Samantha opened the envelope. First photo, Marcus tracing kisses along Mia's collarbone, his wedding band catching the suite's golden light. She flipped through images, dining, shopping, Marcus entering a clinic with Mia 2 weeks earlier. Her throat tightened. Why a clinic? Clara slid over a memory stick. Video files. And bank statements, they're laundering through Mia's company. Samantha exhaled a shaky breath. How do you keep your heart out of cases like this? Clara's gaze softened. You don't. You just decide whose truth is worth the bruises. That night, Samantha sat in her home office watching video after video. In one, Marcus promised Mia, I'll tell Sam soon. You deserve my whole heart. Mia giggled, petting his cheek. Make sure. Our baby can't grow inside a scandal. Marcus replied, Don't worry, love. Sam's too busy saving the world to notice. Samantha slammed her laptop shut so hard the desk lamp rattled. She felt the dual sting of betrayal and insult. Marcus believed her compassion made her blind. She splashed water on her face, stared into the mirror. You're a surgeon, she whispered. Cut out the tumor before it metastasizes. 3 days later, Clara delivered a formal dossier thick with timestamps and notarized transcripts. Samantha scheduled a secret lunch with her best friend, Dr. Chioma, at a secluded garden cafe. Birds warbled overhead, the world looked deceptively serene. I need you to read this, Samantha said, sliding the dossier across. Chioma scanned the first few pages, eyes widening. Sam, this is nuclear. Samantha twisted her napkin. He thinks I'm too busy to notice. Chioma covered her hand. What do you want? Revenge? Divorce? Both? I want him to feel the breach, professionally, financially, emotionally. I want him to taste what it's like to be powerless in a white coat. Chioma's brows knitted. You're scaring me, don't do anything that could cost your license. I won't violate ethics, Samantha said, voice steady. But I won't protect him either. That evening she met Clara at an underground parking lot, dossier in hand. I need a hidden camera set up in my bedroom, Samantha said. Clara raised an eyebrow. Planning to catch him at home? I'm planning to force a showdown in the place he thinks is safest. Clara nodded. We'll install micro lenses in the mirror frame. Motion activated. You'll get HD footage. They shook on it. As Clara walked away, her boots echoed like a gavel striking judgment. Back in the apartment, Samantha rehearsed her lines in the bathroom mirror. Marcus, I know. Too cold. Marcus, how could you? Too vulnerable. She finally settled on silence. Sometimes a surgeon's stillness scares more than words. Saturday morning, sunlight bathed the living room when Samantha breezed in wearing a breezy Ankara dress. I booked us a weekend in Abeokuta, she announced, waving printed e-tickets. No phones, just fresh air. Marcus blinked. This weekend? I have strategy meetings. She tilted her head, smile sweet as sugarcane. Tan said the meetings were pushed. I already spoke to him. Marcus's mouth opened, closed. Right. Then, sure. They drove 2 hours to a quaint eco-lodge overlooking ancient rock formations. Samantha laughed at birds, tossed pebbles into a river, fed Marcus roasted plantain by the bonfire. He relaxed, guilt dissolved beneath faux tranquility. Sunday afternoon they returned to Lagos. I'll shower, Marcus yawned, then maybe nap. Samantha's heart pounded as she tapped her phone, record. Hidden cameras captured Marcus entering the bedroom while Samantha busied herself in the kitchen, deliberately noisy to cloak his movements. Footage later would show him unlock his phone, grin at Mia's text, countdown to Tuesday. Baby needs daddy. He replied, can't wait. Love you. Then, confident, he slid into bed. 3 hours later Samantha opened the camera app in the bathroom, near silent. Marcus snored softly. She watched the clip, betrayal etched in 4K clarity, his thumbs dancing love letters. On Monday she met Clara in a coffee shop and handed over the SD card. Make 3 backups, she said, throat tight. Tuesday night, I'll end this. Sam, Clara asked, will you be okay? Samantha stared at the city skyline, dusk-turning glass towers into ember silhouettes. I have stitched bleeding hearts. I've held dying children. I know pain, she whispered. But this is the first incision I make not to heal, but to reveal. She rose, pocketing a flash drive loaded with ruin. The day Marcus thought he controlled every angle was the day the doctor of angles walked into operating theater, scalpel glinting, ready to expose every lie to fluorescent light. Tuesday dawned in a haze of coastal humidity, but inside the clinic Samantha's every movement felt scalpel sharp. She'd insisted Mia undergo the full panel, CBC, endocrine, virology, beta-HCG, even a discreet toxicology screen. Her colleagues raised eyebrows, Samantha's cool composure brooked no debate. Marcus and Mia arrived at noon. Mia was radiant in a peach lace blouse, but faint shadows bruised her eyes. Marcus stood glued to her side, fingers damp where they threaded through hers. Dr. Odigun will see you shortly, Nurse TD announced. Samantha waited an extra 3 minutes, long enough for tension to thicken, before sweeping into the room in her white coat. Her gaze flicked across the lovers with clinical detachment. Miss Adekoya, she said, voice calm. We'll start with vitals. Mia's pulse galloped under Samantha's cool fingertips, Marcus's eyes darted like a trapped hawk. Blood drawn, samples labeled, Samantha offered no hint of the storm inside. Instead she addressed Marcus in her most professional register. Results will be available by tomorrow. Congratulate your friend for cooperating. Marcus swallowed hard. Thank you, doctor. Outside, Mia whispered, is she the wife? Marcus managed a brittle smile. Just my wife's colleague. In the lab, Samantha watched crimson swirl into centrifuge vials and told herself, facts first. Revenge second. Wednesday afternoon, the printer spat out Mia's results in a neat spiral binding. Samantha's eyes stopped at the bold black line, beta-HCG, 28,300 ml/ml, consistent with 8 weeks pregnancy. But another finding jolted her, elevated liver enzymes, positive IgM for hepatitis B. Not life-threatening, but enough to scare. She inhaled, letting professional instinct override fury. Mia deserved the truth, even if her affair was built on lies. She scheduled the follow-up for 6 p.m. knowing Marcus's after-work alibi routines. She texted him herself from the clinic line, we need both patient and partner present. At 5:55, Marcus and Mia shuffled in. Rain hammered the windows, thunder rolled like a warning drum. Samantha motioned them to sit across her desk. The room smelled of disinfectant and impending ruin. Miss Adekoya, she began, tapping the file, your tests are back. You are approximately 8 weeks pregnant. Silence imploded, then Mia's hands flew to her mouth, eyes shimmering. Marcus's chair scraped, the color drained from his face. Are you sure? He croaked. Positive by blood and ultrasound. Samantha slid a black and white printout across. The faint fetal pull floated like a comma, unfinished sentence, undefined future. Mia's tears spilled. We're having a baby? Samantha raised a palm. There is more. She pointed to the liver panel. Your hepatitis B screen is reactive. We need confirmatory testing and immediate prenatal care. Mia went ashen, Marcus's jaw stuttered. But I'm vaccinated. Then you should be immune, Samantha cut in, gaze spearing him. However, your partner will need testing. Marcus worked his mouth but no words came. Samantha continued, every syllable icicle precise. I've booked both of you for follow-up at our specialist unit. Meanwhile, avoid alcohol, practice safe measures, and inform all recent partners so they can be screened. Marcus flinched. Mia looked from Samantha to Marcus, confusion morphing into suspicion. Marcus, recent partners? Before he could weave another lie, Samantha stood. That concludes the medical briefing. Admin will handle your paperwork. She opened the door. Congratulations, and good luck. As they shuffled out, Samantha felt her heartbeat slow. Act I of her operation was complete, the scalpel had exposed flesh. Now it was time to sever. Thursday evening, Samantha transformed their penthouse into a surgical theater of truth. Clara positioned tiny hidden cameras to capture every angle of the living room lounge. On the glass coffee table lay 3 items, a slim tablet, a sealed brown envelope, and a neatly folded divorce petition stamped by the High Court of Lagos. At 7:03 p.m. the front door clicked. Marcus entered, drenched from rain, umbrella forgotten. He froze at sight of Samantha in an ivory suit, no coat, no smile. Sammy, what's? Sit. Something in her voice pinned him like a specimen. He obeyed. She tapped the tablet. The screen bloomed with Clara's latest video, Marcus cradling Mia outside the clinic, whispering, "Don't worry, love, she's just my colleague." His voice filled the room, tinny and damning. Blood drained from his cheeks. Sam, I can explain. She raised a finger. Tap. The feed cut to hotel room footage, lovers entwined, Marcus promising a life together. Tap. Bank records scrolling, transfers from their joint account to MI Profile Ltd. Tap. A still photograph of the handkerchief she'd found weeks ago. His chest heaved. Who did this? I did, Samantha said quietly. Diagnosis, chronic infidelity, complicated by financial misconduct and reckless endangerment. She placed the brown envelope in his lap. He opened it, photocopies of Mia's pregnancy labs, hepatitis status highlighted. Marcus's breath snagged. Mia, she's pregnant? And possibly infected, Samantha said. Your child. Your mess. Tears welled. He reached for her hand. She stepped back as if avoiding contamination. You once told me trust is the oxygen of love, she whispered. You've left me gasping too long. Marcus fell to his knees. Sam, please, whatever you want, I'll fix it. Therapy, restitution. Therapy won't unsteal my peace, she replied. And restitution can't buy back respect. She slid the divorce petition across the coffee table. Sign tonight or my lawyers file in the morning. He scanned the pages, asset division, custody of nothing but memories. You're taking everything, he rasped. I built most of it, she answered. And I'm leaving you your freedom, which you clearly value more than vows. Marcus's shoulders shook. What about the hospital board, the church, our families? Tell them whatever story helps you sleep, she said, voice silk over steel. I'll tell the truth. He hesitated, pen dangling. Samantha leaned closer, eyes flaring. Refuse, and this footage streams to every partner at Audi Gun Holdings by sunrise. Your investors will love your risk profile. The bluff, backed by Clara's scheduled info drop, landed. Marcus's signature scrawled in trembling ink. He looked up, tears mixing with rainwater on his lashes. Sam. I loved you. She exhaled through the ache. No, Marcus. You loved the idea of me, steady, loyal, blind. She gathered the paperwork. Goodbye. He reached for her once more, she turned away. From the foyer she heard his sob, raw, animal, and a flicker of pity flared, then extinguished. 2 weeks later, dawn lit up the lagoon like molten gold. Samantha stood on her balcony sipping ginger tea, crisp decree absolute tucked safely in her desk. Below, Legos pulsed, yellow buses, mosque calls, hawkers singing their morning wares. For the first time in months, the noise sounded like possibility instead of pressure. Her phone chimed, a text from Chioma, brunch at Oriki Spa? The girls miss you. Samantha smiled, thumbs dancing, be there by 10. First round of mimosas on me. She dressed in a scarlet power suit, locks swept into a crown. In the mirror she caught her reflection, eyes clear, jaw strong. The bruise of betrayal remained, but beneath it new skin had begun to form. On her way out, she paused at the hall table where the stethoscope lay coiled beside Clara's flash drive. She lifted the instrument, feeling its familiar weight. Healing, of bodies and of self, was still her calling. Downstairs, a courier handed her a slim package, the final accounting from the divorce settlement. She tucked it into her tote unread, some closures didn't need numbers. The sun climbed as she drove along the marina, lagoon breeze ruffling her hair through the open window. At a traffic light, a street performer spun cartwheels to Fuji beats. Samantha laughed, a sound bright and whole. She whispered to the wind, losing a liar isn't loss, it's liberation. Then she pressed the accelerator, sailing into the glow of her new beginning, leaving the ashes of a broken promise to scatter in the city's rearview haze. The end.